Catherine, and welcome back to my channel, One Hill of a Life. I'm so glad you could be here with me today. We're going to do something a little differently today. Normally, I just discuss books and reading lists and book suggestions. I haven't done any book reviews yet, but that's might come down the line. But I just want to say thank you for your patience. I know I didn't get a video out last week. It was a very chaotic week that leading into Mother's Day weekend, and the big thing I want to talk about is the week before, the last week of April. I went on a little trip. It was my husband had a work trip and in the city where my best friend from college lives. So we got to have a girls' week basically while he was at training. She was able to get some time off work. And so we got to enjoy being together. It was very refreshing, a time that I definitely needed. It was the first time I have been away for that long and that far from my children. So it was hard to be away right at the beginning, but as the week progressed, it was really nice to have that time to be a grown up without the pressures of also being a parent. Um, the big thing for me is that in that week, my husband and I, one evening, we went to a bookstore that he has been to. He's been to many trainings in this city. It's the first time I've gotten to go with him without the kids and see my friend. Uh, but the name of the store is Second and Charles. So I believe that these are regional chains in the southern United States. Um, they do thrift books as well as new books. So it was very cool to see that. So when you came in to the right, there was like a donation drop off counter intake area, as well as tables of like new releases that were available, displays. And then you went into the rows and the stacks. And these are like floor to ceiling almost stacks of bookshelves, right when you walk in, like right past the uh, donation drop off. Then you go right into the fiction section, and it was by author alphabetical. But in these, if you were looking for a book that's fairly old, you could have new copies as well as used copies sitting on the shelf together, and you just had to pick which one you liked the price of, which one was in the best condition for you. It was overwhelming. I'm going to try to add in some footage from the store. Um, that was my first time trying to like vlog video outside of my little room here. So please bear with me. There's not a lot, but there is some. Uh, but while we were there, we did get purchases. My husband got a stack of books. I'm not going to share those because those are his own. So we'll leave him to be private. But I ended up getting 8 books that I picked out, 2 of which were for my 2 kids. So getting started with the younger one, for my younger kid, my younger son, we got Dog Man Big Jim Begins by Dave Pilkey. If you happen to catch my books to read to kids, you know that we are big Dave Pilkey fans in this household. Um, you know, the inside of the books is always wonderful. They're just the colors and the comics, and that he intermixes comics as well as pages of stories. Uh, but yeah, so far we've loved this, or he has. And then for my older son, I got Hatchet by Gary Paulson. So every good millennial should have read this book, most likely in like 5th or 6th grade. And there's a series to it. My older son seems to really be enjoying it so far, what he's been able to read. Um, but I like to introduce him to books I know that really helped intrigue me to want to read more at the age that he's at now. So that's for him. Then a few more books from me, some used books that I have been wanting or have been interested in and just saw them and picked them up, is Gulliver's Travels by Jonathan Swift. I've seen this on a lot of suggested readings for kids, like to read to your kids. So I'm very curious. I've never read it. We'll see if we can get this. I might have to do a video on a kids family TBR, but I'm excited for that one to have off my list. I also got Agatha Christie's Murder on the Orient Express. as well as Virginia Woolf, Mrs. Dalloway. So I saw this on another content creators like that they've read it this year and they really enjoyed it. So I figured I should try to pick that up if I could. The next are books that have been on my wish list to purchase for a little while. These are books I have read them. They are classics. I read them as an adult, and I'm so glad to have done that. So, getting started is Heidi. Then we have A Little Princess and The Secret Garden. So, some of you may know, if you're a good, again, once again, a good millennial will know that A Little Princess and The Secret Garden came out as movies in the 1990s. Especially A Little Princess, it was very definitive for me. It was a defining movie of my childhood. I also really enjoyed The Secret Garden, but I'm finally happy to have my own copies of these books and to maybe read them again. So I have those. But I will say, out of these three books, the one that I have read the most recently, I think I read it about 2 years ago, is Heidi. Heidi was a book that really just made me thankful for growing up the way I did. I grew up in rural America. Um, and so I had a lot of space and open space and a lot of um, just freedom to play and explore and be outside. And I'm just so thankful that I had that as a child. And for Heidi's relationship with her grandfather, I had a very close relationship with my grandparents as well, especially in high school before they passed away. So it just like the love of family in this book, as well as um, wanting to be in nature and have open space. I really appreciated Heidi. Uh, a book that I picked up. So part of this week, my girlfriend and I were going to be going down to Pensacola Beach for an overnight, and I wanted a book to read and not worry about it getting ruined in case it did, and that is Icebreaker by Hannah Grace. I didn't get that far in it on the beach. I spent more time looking at the ocean. Still probably going to get that one done. It should be a really quick read for me. And then I did get a brand new book. It was not used. In my 2025 TBR video, which I'll link here, I had said I wanted to read One Dark Window, and while I was there, I figured I might as well pick up the sequel to that, Two Twisted Crowns, and see what we can do with that. So that was it for my book haul at Second and Charles. The other thing was, so we were at one Second and Charles. I saw another one in another city that I visited on a day trip. And so it is a chain. So don't think that this is independent. That's the one thing, we didn't find any independent bookstores for me to peruse and support. So I'm a little disappointed on that, but you can't fit in everything in just, 5 or 6 days. The other thing we did go into with my girlfriend when we were in Pensacola, we found Books A Million. I had never seen one of those, and I was just curious to go in and see. So I have some video clips of that if you're interested. So keep watching. I'm going to sprinkle them in throughout. But I'd say I liked the way Second and Charles was laid out far better than Books A Million. Second and Charles was very thorough. They had a good labeling where they had their fiction, sci-fi fantasy, a romance section within fiction. They had autobiographies, nonfiction, inspiration. The children's section was wonderful at Second and Charles. I found a lot of books that had been on my classics that I had wanted for myself as well as for my children. And they also had new books like the Dogman Big Jim Begins, as well as used books like The Hatchet. They had a big section for manga and comic books. We didn't even make it to one side of the store. Like once you got past the children's section, we didn't even make it over there because we ran out of time that night and I was getting hungry. So, I mean, it was just so much fun to be able to go in and spend time and not feel rushed really to go through a store like that. It was hard because it was overwhelming. There were so many books, and again, you have to think about, my husband is much more organized in how he goes about purchasing books. Like he knows he has a running list of books he wants, books he's read, books he hasn't read. Much more organized than I am on that. I'm a vibes person. I'm like, oh, this one looks good. Why don't we pick that one up? Um, and so I don't have the big list the way I should, I think. So it might be something that I have to work on. But that was the trip. We spent the time with my girlfriend. We did a lot of shopping around her town, and we spent a lot of time going to like used secondhand consignment stores as well as thrift stores, and just really enjoyed getting to be an adult without kids, without being a parent for a few days, which was really nice, especially going into the week before Mother's Day. So we missed last week because coming back to reality after a week off is the dead sprint towards the end of the year. We are officially in Maycember, where you have all the graduations, birthdays, Mother's Day, end of school celebrations, all the parties, everything that goes into this time of year. And so I had a wonderful Mother's Day. We got to spend time with both my mom and my mother-in-law, and we got to have just a really nice time. But it was a lot of prep work leading into the weekend, and I'm just so thankful that we were able to have good weather and enjoy being one being away from my kids and then coming back and getting to have a week with them leading into Mother's Day. I hope that you had a wonderful Mother's Day weekend and the last week of April, and hopefully Maycember is treating you well, and I will see you in the next video.